The high hall rang, the roof board swayed, and the Danes shook down. Down the aisles the battle swept, angry and wild. The Hera trembled, wonderfully built to withstand the blows, the struggling great body beating against its beautiful walls. Shaped and fastened with iron, inside and out, artfully worked, the building stood firm. Its benches rattled, fell to the floor. Gold-covered boards grating as Grendel and Beowulf battled across them. Herod's wise men had fashioned Herod to stand forever. Only fire, they had planned, could shatter such skill had put together. Swallow in hot flames such splendor of ivory, iron, and wood. Suddenly sounds changed. The Danes started a new terror, cowering in their beds as the terrible screams of the Almighty's enemies sang into the darkness. The horrible shrieks of pain and defeat. Tears torn out of Grendel's taut throat. Hell's captive caught in the arms of him of all men on earth was the strongest, that mighty protector of men, meant to hold the monster till its life leapt out, knowing that the fiend was no use to anyone in Denmark. All of Beowulf's band jumped from their bed, ancestral swords raised, ready and determined to protect the prince if they could. Their courage was great, but all wasted. They could hack at Grendel from every side, trying to open a path to his evil soul, but their points could not hurt him. The sharpest, hardest iron could not scratch his skin, for that skin-stained demon had bewitched all of men's weapons, laid spells that blunted every mortal man's blade. And yet his time had come. His days were over. His death was near. Down to hell he would go, swept groaning and helpless to the waiting hands of still worse fiends.
The battle of Grendel's mother sang Beowulf's strength, but her guests discovered that no sword could slice her evil skin, that hurting could not hurt her, was useless now when he needed it. They wrestled, she ripped and tore and clawed at him, bit holes in his helmet, and that too failed him. For the first time in years of being worn to war, it would earn no glory. It was the last time anyone would wear it. But Beowulf longed only for fame, leaped back into the battle. He tossed his sword aside angrily, the steel-edged blade laid were. He dropped it. If weapons were useless, he used his hands, the strength in his fingers. So fame comes to the men who mean to win it and care about nothing else.
The Geats' great prince stood firm, unmoving, hiding behind his high shield, waiting in his shining armor. The beast came quickly towards him, pouring out fire and smoke, hurrying to its fate. Flames beat at the iron shield, but for a time it held, protected Beowulf as he planned. Then it began to melt, and for the first time in his life, that famous prince knew that he fought with fate against him. Glory denied him. He knew it, but he raised his sword and struck at the dragon's scaly hide. The ancient blade broke, bit into his skin, drew blood, but cracked before it went deep enough, helped him less than he needed. The dragon leaped with pain, thrashed and beat at him, spouting murderous flames, spreading them everywhere. The Geats' ringgiver did not boast of victories in other war. No, his weapon had failed him, deserted him, now when he needed it most. Edgitho's son stared death in the face, unwilling to leave this world, to trade it for a dwelling in some distant place, a journey into darkness that all men must take, as death ends their few brief hours on this earth. Quickly the dragon came towards him, encouraged as Beowulf fell back. Its breath flared, and he suffered, wrapped around in swirling flames, a king before, but now a beaten warrior.